$1,500, the balance of a retainer fee that you feel he hasn't properly kept. Tell me what's going on.
Judge Million, on April the 12th, myself, sister, and my mother went to talk with Mr. Bryant concerning representing my son that was at that time incarcerated.
For what?
He had several felony charges.
How many?
3.
What were they?
He had a weapons charge, a drug charge, and I don't quite remember what the third one was.
Okay. Cases that had been pending and then he picked up a new charge?
I'm sorry?
Did they all three, did they surface at once, or was he out on bail on one and then picked up another?
Yeah, there are cases outstanding on many of these cases, but there's 4 felony cases in one county and a DUI in another county. There's 5 total cases.
Okay. 4 felony cases in one county. Which one?
Duval County.
In Florida. And,
yes.
And the 5th case was?
It was a DUI in Nassau County, which is just north.
All right, so what happens? How do you get his name?
One of my sisters recommended him that he worked with a nonprofit agency often.
Okay.
And she recommended that we speak with him.
Okay.
We did that, and on that date we talked about his fees, and he worked with me on being able to pay, the total balance. And when I signed the contract, it was on that contingency that they would be able to work together. Well, my mother went ahead and wrote a check for the deposit that he was asking.
Why didn't you just have him meet your son before hiring him?
Well, he didn't roll like that.
Well, you didn't roll like that either. Yeah, he didn't roll like that. He wants your $3,000. I know why he didn't. I'm asking you why you didn't, because if it's so important to you that they mesh, which of course, and ask questions later.
Well, if it had been myself writing the check, yes, I would have. He liked him.
Well, why are you guys rushing out and going to hire somebody who's charging you money when you got one that the rest of us are paying for?
I just wasn't very comfortable with a court-appointed attorney.
Why? Because they're free?
Well, not so much as that, but I didn't think that they would put their best foot forward.
Why? Because they're free to you? Because they're not free. They're charging. They're just not charging you. They're charging. Yes. Well, I guess they're charging you when you pay your taxes, because that's government money that's paying for it. So if you're paying your taxes, they are charging you. They're definitely charging me. Are they charging you? Right. Well, they're not charging you. You're not in Florida. But all right. All right. It's just, I was a prosecutor for many years, and I worked with public defenders. And some of the best lawyers I ever litigated against were public defenders, by choice, not by, I can't get a job. So it's just kind of, it's more like what you were saying in this courtroom, which is, you want to make sure it's a good fit and a good lawyer. So what ends up happening? You go to see Mr. Bryant, and Mr. Bryant, obviously you guys like him because you hire him, you sign a contract, and you give him $3,000, and you work out a payment plan to finish paying him. $5,600 was the...
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then what happens?
He said that day, it was on a Friday, he said that he would visit my son that day, and he did not. Finally, Mr. Bryant went to see him on that Monday, and that Tuesday, my son called me and told me he didn't like Mr. Bryant, that he felt that Mr. Bryant was trying to be someone that he wasn't.
How?
And he said he was trying to act black when he's not black.
Oh, okay.
Those were my son's words now. So.
Okay. Wow, that's very telling. That's a little food for thought. Go on.
Well, and he wasn't comfortable with that. And he said that he didn't want him. Now, I called him first, and I spoke with Mr. Bryant. I told him my son didn't like him, that his exact words.
When did you call him?
On Wednesday. My son called me Tuesday evening, I called Mr. Bryant Wednesday. And I told him my son didn't like him, he didn't want him. And I also emailed him that same day, that conversation he and I had.
Can I see your email?
You can.
Yes.
Okay, and you got hired on what day?
The 12th.
Okay. And did you represent to them you were going to see him the same day?
Your Honor, I had every intent. I had to get the discovery on 4 separate felony cases from the attorney so I could intelligently speak with Mr. Crutchfield about these cases instead of merely going in there and doing
So basically what we have is they hire you on Friday, you see him on Monday, they fire you Wednesday. And you have apparently, he did return some of the fee, right? How much of the fee did he return?
$1,500.
$1,500. And then you kept the other $1,500.
That's correct.
That you felt you had earned. Tell me, now you have to, as you know, explain to